everybody. We're not sure if we're live because Facebook does this really funny thing where it says we are live and then it says we're creating live broadcast, connecting to live broadcast. So we don't know. We're just going to talk. Good morning, everybody. How are you out there on this lovely Monday morning? This is our very first show, our very first neighborhood news. Jen Duncan, aka JD, and I, Katie, we work on Team EvoAZ, which is a real estate team. And we're here with eXp Realty in the gorgeous Valley of the Sun. And we thought that we would share our expertise, share some knowledge about the most popular neighborhoods around town, because I don't know about you, JD, but I see a ton of posts about, is this neighborhood kid friendly? What's the shopping like? What are the schools like? What are the price points of the houses? Like, there's just so much question out there about these popular neighborhoods across the valley. So what better to start with than our very favorite, right?
Right.
Or one of our very favorites.
Yes, for sure.
So let's talk all about Eastmark, my friend. Why don't you tell just a little bit, since this is kind of like a special episode because you're actually a resident or just moved but still in the very same area, and
Yes.
you were a resident of Eastmark for quite some time. So when did you first move there?
We moved there in 2017. We built a house at that time. About a year before, I went out and drove out there because one of our moms in our group were like, oh, I live out by Eastmark. I'm like, where's that? And she was like, it's the old GM Proving Grounds. I was like, oh my God, there's like nothing out there. Well, there is. So I went to go drive around and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to live here someday. You know, so we did end up building a house there. I love that house. I still miss it.
You still talk about it.
I do.
I'm like, but you have a new house now.
No. The only reason we moved is because the neighborhood right next door had a floor plan that really works for our family setup because my mom lives with us. So she was able to get like a full-on apartment attached to our house at the new house. But what's really cool is like we're right next door, so we're still part of the community and still at the same school. So I'm happy.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice when you're moving homes to not have to move absolutely everything, right? Because we tend to shop and, you know, get our needs fulfilled around where we are. So that means you're changing dentist, doctor, like you name it, right? Vet, groomers, all of this stuff. So it's nice that you didn't have to do that.
No.
So let's talk Eastmark. It started in, was 2013, I think is when they first began building. Is that correct?
Yes, so that's when they first started. Bunch of builders, so it's a big master plan. So there's a variety of houses from like, you know, smaller to huge. So it's kind of nice because there's a great variety of people here. But yeah, 2013 was phase one. The whole Eastmark is about 3,200 acres.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's giant. Yeah.
About 5 square miles, I think. Which is bigger than the town that I grew up in. That was only like 1 square mile, I think. So to put it in perspective on how big it really is, like a community vibe, which is really cool. Some of the builders currently, there's David Weekley, Woodside Homes. They have like 3 different collections from smaller to huge. Ashton Woods, Taylor Morrison. And there's a new one coming called the New Home Company. So those are almost done. So I'm interested to see what those are like. And then the Eastmark Towns by Lennar, they're townhouses. So that's a first for here.
Right, right. So you have townhomes. What other types of products do you have? You have obviously, you know, smaller starter homes to the really large ones. No condos, or is there a small sort of condo section?
No, there's rentals. So there are townhome rentals, which is kind of nice. Like if you want to live in the area and then see how you like it first. And then there's apartments. Those are new. The closest thing to a condo would be like those townhomes.
Mm-hmm.
So those are like no backyard, you know, low maintenance, stuff like that. They also have the ones where they have like a little side yard, so it's still like a single family home, but less to maintain. And then they have huge houses, which you can fit like a couple families in. So there is a good variety, which is really cool.
That's awesome. We have a couple of people piping in, guys. If you have questions out there, any specific questions about Eastmark, we are watching the comments. So definitely post your questions in there. We'll get to as many as we can. Hello, Alicia. And yes, Skylar, thanks so much for chiming in. I love everything about Eastmark too. So totally agree with you. So I was cruising around the MLS last night, just, looking to see, because stuff changes every 2 seconds. So I was looking to see what currently is available in the area. And I was seeing on the resale side from like the 400s to about the 800s. Is that the typical pricing that you're seeing?
Yeah, not much under 400 anymore. But yeah, that's about right. So about 400 for like about maybe 1,800 square feet or so. And then into the 800s for like almost like 4,000 square feet. Yeah, that's about right. There's not much resale wise right now.
No, there isn't.
So, I mean, they are going pretty quick, but you can still get a house here, which is kind of cool because you can either do new build or resale.
So as far as the builders, I mean, what's going on there? We're all hearing stories about lotteries and about, having to get on a waiting list or whatever. What's going on with the builders specifically in Eastmark? Any detail on that?
Most of them are actually just on a wait list, which is kind of nice because then you get on it and your name will come up eventually. I know that Taylor Morrison does a drawing once a month for theirs, so you hop on the call. If you get drawn, you get a lot. If not, you hop on next month and you may or may not ever get one. I believe they're the only ones that do. Well, Lennar does too for the townhome, so you put your name in and then see if you get drawn. But the other ones are wait lists, so you just go check out the models. You can price it out with them, which is kind of cool, so you can get an idea of where you're going to be at. The only downside to the wait list too is that you're at the mercy of price increases.
Right.
So the sooner you can get all your stuff into the builder and the lender and stuff like that, the better you are to get up on that list. But I had someone secure a home in Cadence right next door with Toll Brothers, and they're super excited. And it's already gone up, so they have equity already.
Yeah, that's the cool part about securing a new build and waiting for it to build. Your equity is building at the same time. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So
I do have great relationships with the agents in Eastmark too, so it's kind of cool to network with each other to see what we have coming up, so that we can try to get you in front of the crowd that wants to see the house. Try to get you in beforehand.
Right. Yeah, I know you have a couple of little tricks up your sleeve, and it's all about those relationships. It really, truly is. So nice job on that. I know our clients are benefiting.
I know, so lot sizes for homes in Eastmark, generally some are smaller, so about maybe 4,000 or 5,000 square feet. And there's there's one house that's on an acre, which is kind of cool. There's like one.
Just one house.
Yes. But there are some with bigger lots, so there's a huge variety, which is nice.
Are the builders offering any incentives anymore, or is it just pretty much?
Sometimes they don't really offer anything towards your upgrades anymore.
Yeah, that's what I
but they
figured.
do give incentives for using their lender, so it's worth it to explore both with with Ryan or with whoever, with their builder, to see what the fees are. So sometimes that incentive isn't worth it, but they do. I mean, I've seen them range from like $1,500 to like $5,000. So it's definitely worth looking into.
It's worth penciling out. So don't just hear the word incentive, go with this lender and think that you're actually winning there. I think that is really great advice, JD, especially with I mean, when the incentives used to be huge, like 20 grand in the design center or something like that, like, okay, that's kind of a no-brainer. But where it's so slim right now, it's very, very important to pencil out and make sure that, and look at the rate of what they're giving you versus the rate of, you know, a regular lender or whomever that, you know, Ryan or somebody like that. Really, really important to do that research. I'm glad you said that.
Definitely. So let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, so standards, right? We wanted to talk about like standards, what the builders offer too.
Right.
Typically, they usually offer just like basic kind of granite square tiles in like the kitchen, bathroom, stuff like that. Most people are going to want to put about 10 to 20% of the base price into upgrades. That's the safe amount. You don't want to go
typical
overboard just in case you decide to sell later, but you also don't want to build an $800,000 house or so with all standard stuff.
Yep. Double-edged sword right there. She has really, really good advice. You don't want to get a higher-end home and not do some of the higher-end things that you should do, because you're going to totally shoot yourself in the foot for resale. And then on the other side of the coin, you don't want to blow up your house with all of these upgrades because you're never going to get your money out of it.
Right. There is actually a resale that had been on the market for a month and a half, which is unheard of in this market, right?
It's true.
It was like up for $850 and they did nothing. So it looked like it was already 20 years old, even though it was only 2 years old. So
Yeah.
that hurt them for sure.
Absolutely. I know it will. Anything else on that, or the incentives, or any of the builder stuff before we get into the fun stuff?
Not really. Everything just varies based on builder. So we'd always want to just check with them to see if anything, like guarantee anything, and then they change it.
Yeah, makes sense. Let's talk, I mean, here's the real reason why people come to Eastmark, right? Is the community, the community feel, the activities, the community center. So before I start giving away the whole farm here, let's talk about that. Because when you first moved there, I was so jealous, because here I am in my neighborhood that doesn't do anything. Like
Right.
I know my neighbor because I forced him to meet me, right? And you're all like, yeah, I'm at the park and there's live music and like Munch just made a bunch of friends, and I'm sitting on my couch by myself.
Yeah, FOMO.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so let's talk about, here, I'll screen share and show you a couple pictures of like some of the amenities and some of the things they do.
Awesome.
Let me try this. So this is my first time.
Right, guys. It's our first time doing this, so bear with us.
It's having me do some kind of options.
Is it? It's not letting you share.
Let's see if it works. Share. Needs permission.
Oh, man.
Hold
You
on.
don't have permission on my end. I don't know how to give you permission either, huh? Well, we'll just talk about it.
Okay. Wait, let me try one more. This might work. All right. Let's try. Ooh.
There it is.
Okay, can you see it? Because I can't see you anymore. Okay.
Yep.
So here's a couple of the amenities that they have. This is actually pretty new, like within the last 2 years, I believe, is part of the Great Park expansion. So there is a huge park that runs in the middle of the community all the way from Ray, and it's going to go close up to Elliott, so about 2 miles. And they've built parks, lakes, stuff like that. So this part is pretty new. It's really popular. They also built some like baseball fields, sand volleyball, dog parks. I see people at the dog parks all the time. It's super cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So that first park that you showed, is that the park that you had your daughter's birthday party at?
Yes.
That was a fun park. My kid cried when we left.
Oh, that zip line looks so fun. I'd be too afraid to do it now, but.
I know, same here. But the kids were going crazy on that. That was so cool.
Totally. Let's see. So there's the ball fields. You can see here that there's the two of the charter schools in the neighborhood on either side. So there's bases on the right. That's a K through 12, which is really cool. And it's an accelerated school. So if you want your kid to be challenged, definitely check out BASIS. On the left is Sequoia Pathfinder Academy, and they are very kind of arts-based, kind of like, they're not a Montessori school, but they do work like more project-based arts and stuff like that. And they do Spanish immersion too.
Nice.
Like a dual language program, which is really cool. And then to the left is the learning experience. That's the preschool daycare.
That place is so fun too. Have you heard some feedback from it throughout the neighborhood?
Yeah, a lot of people really love it. I mean, they had some growing pains, but it seems like everything's going really well now. And the teachers are really caring and stuff like that. Let's see. So this is a picture. This is one of the first Friday concerts that they do, like from their archives. But they just had that Rock Lobster band recently.
I love that band.
So everybody was so excited to kind of return to normal and get out there again. Those events, I mean, they're in Eastmark, but they are actually open to the public because the Great Park is actually a City of Mesa park.
Oh, no kidding.
So it's kind of nice, yeah. This is what they call the bus stop. It's like a community center where you can play games. They actually have an old bus stop that they hollowed out and put some tables. They have tons of games in there. The skee ball and everything is all free, so you just go and press the button. And then to the left is where you go out. You can go out towards the pool, and they have a nice big pool.
And there's like conference rooms and stuff in that clubhouse too, right? That as a resident, do you have to rent it or just reserve it?
I think you just reserve it. I don't think you have to pay.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's kind of nice. They do classes and stuff in there, like all different kinds of events. This is the pool. Originally, I thought this little thing over here was a hot tub, but it's actually a kid's pool. That was actually kind of nice. Before Munch was able to swim, she would hang out in there. Let's see. They do play music and stuff, which I really love, and there's grills and the basketball hoops. It's really fun. Here is, I don't know if you can see it that well, but this is like their, like behind the pavilion where they do First Fridays, the big lake. This one is not stocked, but it's pretty. I do know that they don't do reservations for these ramadas, but you can't, it's like first come, first serve. So if you want to do a party, just get there early and stake out your ground.
Good call.
Yeah. This is the original park that they built in there called the Orange Monster. I thought it was super cool. I think it was designed by kids too. Like they let kids kind of draw it up and then they made it. It's a little bit hard for the little kids though. So they got the little slides and little swings, but these nets, you have to climb up the nets to get to those slides. And it's a little tough. So the bigger kids like this one. That first one we looked at is great for the younger ones because they have like the big slides, a toddler area, like zip lines and stuff like that. So good variety. That's all I have for amenity pictures so far. They are going to be putting in another lake a little bit further north, and they're going to stock it with fish, which is kind of cool.
Fun, so you can fish there.
And then there's going to be a skate park too, which is really cool.
Did they already do the Frisbee golf course?
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So let me stop sharing for a sec. They are working on that right now, actually. It got delayed a little bit, but it's under construction now too.
That is awesome. I love Frisbee golf. It is so much fun.
It is fun. Let me see. What else? Let's see what else we have coming up. Not part of the amenities, but there's going to be like a big wave pool park nearby, which is cool. Revel Surf Park,
nice.
like 2 miles away. And then a big sports complex called Legacy Sports Complex. So it's going to have like soccer, all kinds of sports stuff. I think like some dance studios are going to be in there, cheerleading. it's going to be really cool.
And you also have, obviously, the airport that is pretty close by, and they have just expanded, have they, right? Haven't they?
I think I heard that there's another carrier there now.
I think they just expanded and built more. Yeah.
If you're into military, they do a lot of the jet flyover, so you will hear that if you live here. But it's really cool. It's kind of patriotic, and people like it.
Yeah, yeah, that's always neat to see. I see it up at Swirl when they come out. Because they go up there. So I was going to ask about the airport, though, and the airport noise with it being so close. Does it seem bothersome at all to you, especially since they expanded, or is it just like normal? Like I have planes overhead in Ahwatukee.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like normal. I don't really hear like the commercial ones that much, just only once in a while because we're not in the direct flight path. So I want to say they come in from the north and then from the south. So it's not that bad. It's just the military ones are loud, so just be prepared. Yeah. But I know
they definitely, you can hear those coming.
It's fun. But no, it's not that bad. I do know that they want to expand in the future, so if noise bothers you, then definitely think about it. But I mean, if you live in Phoenix, you're going to hear Sky Harbor too. So
I do, and I'm in Ahwatukee, and I'm pretty far south from the airport.
Yeah.
So let's talk. So that's like the physical amenities, which are awesome. I've been to Eastmark a few times. Thank you very much, Jen, for inviting me so I could, participate in the happiness out there. Right. But let's talk about activities, because I mean, I know that your old neighborhood was super active, lots of kids around all the time, always kids playing in the park, but there are like scheduled activities and things too, right?
Yes. So they do huge events for like spring, Halloween, Christmas time.
Easter egg hunts.
What's that?
Easter egg hunts.
Yes, they do Easter egg hunts in like a lot of the little parks, like those. A lot of the houses face a park. The way they laid it out is really cool. So it brings the community together. So a lot of the parks do their own also, and then the HOA does theirs too, which is really cool. They also do like for Memorial Day and Veterans Day, you can come and pick up a bunch of the little flags, and they put them around the perimeter of the parks, which is really nice.
Cute.
It's really nice to see. Typically, they do fireworks. They didn't last year, but I think they're resuming it this year.
Nobody did anything last year.
I know. Well, our neighbors did. A lot of it's quite active around that time. What else do they do? They have so much stuff. It's kind of hard to say all of it, but they've always got an event going on.
Right, and there's also water aerobics I've seen and stuff like that, right? So not necessarily kid-related activities.
Right, yeah. So like they have fitness clubs, beer clubs, golf, moms groups for people with toddlers or just regular moms. Neighborhood specific groups. So like in our old section, we had Corbin Point neighbors, which is cool to connect on a closer level. And stuff. And then they have like craft night clubs and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there's so many. If you search Eastmark for groups on Facebook, it's like you have to keep scrolling.
There's a ton of them. Well, there's bikers too that get together and bike around, right?
Yeah, and there's like walking and scorpion hunting and stuff like that.
That was funny when you guys did neighborhood scorpion hunts. I laughed. Oh my gosh, that was cute.
So much fun. But the scorpion population near our old house really cut down a lot by doing that.
Oh yeah, I went out just last night because I'm in Ahwatukee, so we have them, and I found 3 last night. But the 2 previous nights, I had 0, which was really weird.
That's good.
Yeah. So I was excited about that. So maybe I've finally started cutting down our population since I've been hunting for 3 years.
Right. No, it's not bad in most of the neighborhood. Most of the houses that have them back up to like the road or somewhere that has a lot of planting because there's more food for them. So if you live on the interior, I haven't heard of many people having issues. So if that's a concern, that's something definitely to look for. Lot placement.
Yeah, totally. So let's talk a little bit more about the schools. You had mentioned when you were bringing up your slides, you had mentioned the 2 schools that were there in the photo. Are there any, or the couple of schools, I think you had mentioned another one too,
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Yes. So can you go through that again, just to kind of name off what schools are in the area? And it's kind of neat where half of your neighborhood goes to a certain district and the other half goes to another, right?
Yeah, so the majority of the neighborhood goes to Queen Creek schools, which is weird because we're in Mesa, but Queen Creek schools. The northern portion is actually zoned for Gilbert schools. So there's 2 different options, which is cool because Queen Creek does like the 2-week breaks, shorter summer. Gilbert does 1-week breaks, longer summer. And they have different programs that are very popular with them. So the schools that are Queen Creek are Silver Valley Elementary and Eastmark High School. The high school starts in 7th grade, which can be concerning. They do have a separate building for 7th and 8th grade, but they do cross sometimes, so something to think about. High school next year will be the first year that they go to 12th grade, so they've been phasing in over the last few years. For Gilbert, I believe the school is Meridian Elementary, and then Desert Ridge Junior High, and then high school. There's a lot of people who choose either or. Like the open enrollment is kind of nice because I haven't heard of many people being turned away because of their location. So that's cool if for choices. I know, like when I grew up, it was like either public school or Catholic school. That's it.
All we had.
Yeah. So charter schools, they have the Sequoia Pathfinder Academy, which is right in the neighborhood. Basis. So that's K through 12. So you can just send them there and be there till they graduate. ALA is pretty close. That's American Leadership Academy. It's like a mile away. And then Legacy Traditional School is like 2 miles. There's also a brand new Queen Creek Accelerated School. So that one is actually close down to Ironwood Crossing. It's in Queen Creek. It's in a new neighborhood called Barney Farms. But it's public and it's accelerated. They do like the uniforms and everything. But if you want to send your kid there, they have buses that pick up at the schools up by us. So
no kidding.
If your kid needs to be challenged more, they can go there, and a lot of parents will love it.
Okay, yeah. Punkette just piped in and said she chose Dominic's middle school next year in Santan versus in Chandler.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So I've heard good things. I have.
Yeah, there's so many options. Like we could talk about it for hours. I know we have some resources that can help with researching the schools too, so we can always hook up someone with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know. We'll drop a comment with that website. It's a really good one used to compare schools. So let's talk about the HOA, because I know a lot of people have that question, you know, how much is it? What does it cover? That kind of stuff.
So HOA is $100 a month. It's not too bad.
It isn't for all that stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad. They cover like the pool, the clubhouse, you know, like the park maintenance and stuff like that. They also, so the streets are tree lined. So like you got your sidewalk and then you got your tree zone. They call it the parkway zone. And they maintain that tree. I don't know how often, but that is the HOA that handles that. So it's on like their irrigation and stuff. You just have to pull the weeds. So it's not too bad. So when you move to the neighborhood, though, something to think about, there is a decent sized fee to move in, and it goes towards paying for all the big events and everything like that. It's called a recreation fee. It's half of 1% of the sales price of the home plus $250. So that goes into a reserve, goes towards like improvements, events, like everything like that. And then I know that there's what's that?
And that's not super uncommon in such a
No,
planned huge community like this.
no,
So like DC Ranch has one of those.
yeah,
The one in Florence escapes me at the moment. What's the name of that one? Anthem has one.
uh-huh.
So it's not like it's super uncommon and only an Eastmark
No,
thing.
no, but it's something to know because your closing costs will be higher and you don't want to be blindsided by it either on the buyer or seller side, you know?
Yeah, we've heard some horror stories of clients up, not our clients, but some
Right.
clients out there being blindsided by that.
Totally. And then I think they have a $300 transfer fee, which is pretty normal. Um,
Mhm.
One thing to note is they do have what's called a CFD. It's a community facilities district. So a lot of the big neighborhoods have them, the big master plans, at least the newer ones for sure. All that means is that your taxes are going to be higher than normal.
Mhm.
So some people get mad about it, but it goes to pay for all the stuff in the area. So like the roads, the great park, all those kind of improvements. So like, yeah, it costs more, but it's kind of worth it. It's kind of, in California, they call it a Melrose tax. Um,
Mhm.
it's just like, the big neighborhoods that have a lot of cool stuff have it.
Yeah.
Generally, like your taxes will be about 800 to $1,000 more a year. It just depends on like your house value.
Right.
To me, being from New Jersey, like it's
It's
not.
way less anyway. I know. I'm
So
from New Hampshire, and coming here, I was like, wait a minute, what? Those are half a year, right?
right. So at our old house, the taxes were like 3,100 a year. Well, the house I grew up in New Jersey was a 2-bedroom townhouse, and those are like 6,000 a year.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
it's okay, but something to plan for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
So
that's good to know. And I know that that's always confusing to people. So I'm glad that you went through that, with some clarity there. So that's nice. Thank you for that. And then, I mean, it's a fairly way back when Eastmark started, when you first heard about it, you were like, oh my gosh, where's that? Right. But now things are starting to fill in. It's fairly convenient location. I mean, you've got a couple of freeways right there. Really, to tell you the truth, it doesn't take me long to get to Eastmark from Ahwatukee.
no, it's like maybe 25 minutes or so at the most.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
it's not bad. It's right. Yeah, it's right off the freeway, which is cool. And that the 24 freeway, they call it a dog tail because if you look at the map, it looks like a little doggy tail coming off the 202. It's going
It
to
does.
connect up to Ironwood, which will be huge for that area because they'll be now not be so far. I mean, it'll help us too to get to that area quickly. But I've heard that there's going to be a lot of development along there because when they build roads, they build stuff, you know.
Right.
So that should be great for the area, great for Santan Valley for sure. But yeah, that is also bringing in a lot of development, like that surf park, and that legacy sports thing. I think I have a picture. Did I show a picture of those?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I don't know about the splash pad, but the park you did. Yeah.
Or wait, let's see. Hold on. I'm gonna be weird. Okay. So this is what that surf park is gonna look like. I think they said that, since so many people are moving from California, that it's really cool. Like you can like actually surf, like it's kind of cool, and there'll be like a beach and stuff. And then here's what that legacy sports thing is gonna look like. So they'll have like a gym, softball, baseball, soccer, the whole works.
Where's the splash pad? Because I don't think we saw that last time. Oh,
Here
there
it
it is.
It's cute. It is gated in, so with young kids, it's kind of nice because they're contained, and it is
Yeah.
pretty basic. So there's not anything like crazy dumping on your head or anything. So when Munch was like 3 and 4, it was perfect for her. She's over it now, but just migrate over to the pool.
Yeah.
But for the
Exactly.
littles, it's amazing. And that's open to the public too. So like if you want to host a play date with friends in the area, just go. You can go because you don't need a key to get in.
Oh, nice.
hmm Let's see. All right, let me stop this
Awesome.
share. Okay, what else we got? There's so
Well, there's so much stuff. So what's around in terms of shopping, restaurants? I mean, you've got a diner right in there.
We do, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's super cool. They actually moved an old 1950s diner from Colorado, I think it is, and put it there. So there's like 11 seats inside, which nobody ever really sits inside, but all the seating's outside. They have like the nice bistro lights. Their wings are so bomb. They're
Yeah.
so, and I think Mondays is 50-cent wing night because we always miss it.
Oh
Um,
no. Well, now you remember.
the chef, Adam Allison, he was on some cooking show or something, but they make really cool, like unique stuff, which is kind of nice. And then also they're right next. I forgot about the farm. Steadfast Farm is there now too. I
Yes.
remember when that was like top secret, but they actually grow like organic stuff, and there's a farm store that's open like all the time now, so you can go in and buy stuff and pay yourself. And Heather, her elderberry is there.
Oh, no
Oh,
kidding. Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Shout
So
out to the elderberry lady.
I know. But yeah, there's just so much. Like I forget half the things that they have. For the area too, like there's a lot of people are like, there's nothing around here, but 5 minutes west is Power and Ray, which has a ton of shopping. Um, Depending on Ellsworth, like 5-10 minutes south is Queen Creek, and they have so much. Like they just put in like a Barrio Queen, like good stuff. And then
Mhm.
Signal Butte and Baseline has a ton of shopping. So it's all Eastmark is kind of right in the middle of all of that. So you can go either which way.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome. I love the area. And then you have had a little bit of feedback from just, well, you've lived there for a few years and I'm sure you have a bunch of friends and things. So can you share some of the feedback from neighbors,
yeah.
moms, people you know?
Okay, so I'm going to read these. Um, so one person said there are so many willing people in the neighborhood, like plumbers, contractors, like all kinds of service people, but also people who will help out if something's wrong. Like let's say your kid goes missing. Everyone hops in their cars, on their bikes and everything and goes out and starts looking. A pet goes missing, everybody is there to help, which is really cool.
Hmm.
So there's anything you need, you can find in the neighborhood. Um, and one person also said that it's like really vibrant and active, which is cool. So if you want to, if you're feeling kind of blah, go out for a walk in the morning and you'll meet so many nice people. And it's really green, which is cool. So you can see a lot of greenery.
Yeah, it's very green.
So the holidays are like one of the most popular things here. There is a street called Sanger. They do like a massive holiday thing. This last year they did like a huge party too, like a block party. But they go all out with like the arches all the way down the street, like crazy lights. It's really cool. But a lot of sections go pretty all out, and they do like a contest too, which is
Oh,
kind of
fun.
fun. So, so yeah, holidays are great. Halloween is great. So not only for the kids, but for the adults. So a lot of adults set up like their own buffet in front of their house with drinks and everything for the adults. And then they got the candy for the kids. So it's fun for both. What else? So someone also said the holidays, they love the fireworks, the Veterans Day stuff. Um, and then another one said Jello shots. They love that.
At Halloween, I take it.
Halloween, yes. Another person said the school choices. They love that there's so many different options. So, because not everyone learns the same or has the same needs. So there's just so many options close by.
Right. And I remember you saying that over the years of how cool the area is because of all the options for parents and how
Yeah.
everything is in such close proximity. So,
We had planned on sending her to a different school and then ended up at the public school. And then they built the new one and rezoned it. And so she kind of bounced around a little bit, but it's great. We love it. So definitely not leaving.
yeah, I don't blame you a bit. Oh my gosh. Is there anything else, JD? I mean, I'm sure there's some other things, but is there anything else that we missed that we should include in this video?
I don't know, honestly. I don't think so. But there's so much. Just ask. We can talk about it forever.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you guys are catching this on the replay and you have any questions that you wish you would have been able to be live with us to ask, certainly comment them and we will get to your questions. Probably JD, because she knows everything there is to know about Eastmark. If somebody, what's that?
I'm so grateful that we live there. Like, even though we're just like a hop across the street now, but like we met so many awesome people that obviously still talk to, because it's not like you're kicked out of the area.
Well, right, and you're still so close that you can still enjoy the park and, you know,
sure.
all of that stuff. So that's awesome. All right, so if anybody in our audience would like to reach out to you to ask you questions about Eastmark or any other neighborhood, really, how could they do so?
You can message me on Facebook, or my phone number, it's 480-707-7554. And then my email is Jennifer, who goes by Jennifer, but I do. Jennifer at EvoAZ.com. So EvoAZ.com. I really should change that email.
Awesome, JD. Well, thank you so much for being with me today. And we'll be back next week with a new neighborhood.
Yes, definitely give us some suggestions.
Yeah, comment some suggestions if there's any neighborhoods that you're particularly burning to learn about. And we'll share that information. All right, guys. Hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.